As some of you might know, the stock bottom end motor that we took to Streetcar Takeover had some issues. A lot of blow-by coming out of the catch can over here. So we've got the car back in the garage, and at this very moment, the new motor has been finished. Machine work is done on it, and assembly will start soon. So in the meantime, I need to get this motor back out here, torn down. We can check out what's going on with it. But otherwise, unfortunately, I hate to say this, admit to it, but over the years, I've done this a few times. So we'll go ahead and get everything torn down, out, get everything set aside on the table, all the pieces that'll be going back on the new block, and hopefully we've got a week and a half, I think. Let's see here. No, 2.5 weeks before Nostalgia Nights that I already signed up for, a shorter drag and drive. So we're slightly against the clock, but I feel confident considering last time this motor went in a couple days. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll pull this out and start the process. Alright, so as you can see, we got most of the motor apart now. Radiator's out. The crossover, intake pipe, the intake manifold. Mostly electronics are disconnected, and a lot of stuff underneath. The oil lines. I've got the oil drained out of it, of course. Starter's off. So we're going to call that a night for this evening. You know, my wife, thank you. She's behind the camera right now, help me out. We only get so much time after the little guy is asleep. So we're going to call it a night here. All that's left is pretty much transmission. So the bell housing bolts, we need to get the flex plate off the converter, and then just the motor mount bolts, and from there we can go ahead and pull it. So we'll get back to that tomorrow in the next clip. So I've got everything down by the transmission, unbolted at this point, ready to bring the crane over and go ahead and lift this motor out. So I'll bring that around. I just have to undo some motor mount bolts and then get this puppy out of here. Alright, so there you have it. Motor out of the engine bay now. Really odd one, when I was pulling the motor out, the converter actually stayed on the motor, which almost never happens. It always just hangs out on the transmission, so had a little struggle with that. But nonetheless, got it out. You're on the hoist now, so I'll go ahead and lower it down, get it on the engine stand, and we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and get this ready to go on the stand. So first, flex plate. See if it comes off easy or not. Probably help if I turn this up. There we go. Okay, flex plate bolts off. Sometimes you can, yeah. Nope. Alright. Get this mounted on here first. This down just a little bit so I can get the stand going. So always leave it a little higher than this, so then I can just actually lift this up onto it. Lock it in. I find that way is much easier than trying to lower it down. Now we'll lower it down. This engine stand I've had for years. It actually has different casters on the front. I don't know if it was this block or maybe a different one. I've had a few blocks myself and worked on a number of cars, but I'm pretty sure it was this one. Trying to get it out of the back of my truck years ago, it actually fell over, landed on the front of the engine stand, and busted the wheels that came with it. So I actually went with a bigger wheel on the front, and actually tilts it back a little bit more since it's a large diameter. So anyhow, it's a funny story from my past. But it's on here now, so I think I'm either going to call it a night, or if I can gather up another bit of energy, I'll go ahead and just start taking it apart, which is probably what I'm going to do, because I'm really curious to see if one of the piston ring lands is busted, if I can see it from the top. So I'll go ahead and start disassemble and see what we find. Alright, time to start taking some stuff off, so we'll start with the valve covers. This will allow me to get access to the head bolts, of course. So, plug wires off. These BTR covers are awesome because you can just undo the 4 bolts. As you can see, nothing needed to remove as far as the coils go. So I've tried to make this setup as easy to do anything I need to in a pinch quickly. So I mean, as silly as it seems, being able to take the valve covers off without having to take the coils off is just a few more seconds saved, and in between a round, it can make all the difference. Not to mention they look great, and the baffling is nice. Okay, next we'll go ahead and take the exhaust manifolds off just to get some extra weight off. They don't need to be removed to pull the heads, technically, but just makes it easier, I think. Actually, I'm wrong. I always forget about the outer bolts. So the studs on the bottom, clearly the exhaust manifolds are in the way. So we need to take these off anyways. There's the driver's side. Set this down over here. Probably reorganize a lot of these parts after I get this done. Okay, so next we need to get the rockers off of here, pull the push rods out. At that point we'll have access to the center stud nuts as well, and then I just need to take off the steam port for the little guys up top, because a couple of these you can't get to in the middle. So why don't we take that off now while I've got the tin out. And I don't remember which side is easier to get off here, so grab some pliers. Okay. Steam port. I just run a factory LS steam port with the BTR manifold. Simple, effective, does all four corners, which everyone will have their opinion, but I know the later models came with them blocked off. It's common to do that, but I figure, hey, it's an easy part, it fits, might as well use it. And you know what, we'll probably just go ahead and pull these small guys off here. Let me change sockets real quick. Just go ahead and get these off here too. Magnetic washers. Last one I did lose. Anyways, don't put all those in. Now, hopefully, again, I suspect a ringland failure. With this being a stock motor, I have no idea how many miles were on it when I picked it up. I don't know, 4 years ago or so. I ran it in the car for a few years, 2 years I think. Turbo, of course. Just learning how to do race car stuff, I guess. So it had been sitting back in the corner quite some time. And then when I had the mishap with my built motor, I tossed this in. I mean, it still won a couple rounds. Did a lot of 8-second passes. Actually, might have only ran 8-second passes, which is all I really was hoping for. But I was hoping for it to last all season. At the same time, what we've got coming is a blessing, to say the least. So, can't be too mad. Guess what I was getting at was, hopefully these heads don't have any problems once I get them out of here, because my plan is to actually reuse these heads on the new motor. Unfortunately, my Brodix heads that I have for the 5.3 are just so beat up, and sending them out is going to put me back even further. So a lot of people have had success with stock heads, half-inch studs, and the BTR small bore head gaskets. So I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it does. So again, hopefully these look good when they're off. Find out shortly. Okay, time to get these rockers off, and I don't remember what size they are. Is our winner. Crack these loose, and then I'll get them off the rest. Sorry about that. A couple steps probably look like we missed, so I had an issue with the filming. But anyways, rockers are off, push rods are out. So now go ahead and get the rest of the head studs off, and then we can take the head off and see if there's anything going on this side, the passenger side. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, let's get this guy off here and see if we can see anything. And there's still some water in here, so it'll probably make a little bit of a mess, but oh well. Yeah, that's what I thought. those gaskets want to hold. Man, I tell you, I have never had a motor fight me as much as this one to get it out of the car, and now getting heads off here. I could pull the studs out, but it's way more fun to watch me struggle, huh? Ooh. Yep. Cut my finger. Yeah, we'll wrap it up and keep going. There we go. I don't see anything obvious on this head, so that's good, which I didn't expect to. Take a look at these pistons a little closer. Find the light. So nothing on the top of this one, so I guess we'll keep going as long as my finger stops bleeding. I don't see anything specific on this one, although I can't tell if I just did this or if there was a lot of oil or something in this one, so I'm suspecting possibly this cylinder, so let's set this down. So at this point, I don't see anything obvious from the top, so I'll have to dive in further. Probably going to be it for this evening, so we'll pick up where we left off. But for now, that was the goal, get the motor out, got the heads off. I'll look at them a little bit more, but otherwise, I got to swap springs around and clean them up a little bit, and they'll be ready to go. So I have the motor completely torn down from the last clip here. As you can see, all the front accessories are off and everything else. So this is stripped down all the way to the point where I have everything I need for the new motor. But what I wanted to do was go ahead and show you guys what I did find on cylinder number 5, which I thought it was. So let's take a look. So here is the piston, and you can very easily see there's a crack there, there's one just above. Oh, it's starting to turn on me, and if we flip it around on the opposite side, might be a little bit harder to see on these because it's tightened up, but there are a few more cracks within the ring lands. I bet if I rotate this a little bit, yeah, so you can see a bit more of it. So as as I expected or assumed, I guess, cracked ring land. That is one of the pistons that was replaced with the rod and piston combo when I bent the rods on this years ago. So there is another one in there. I'll probably, what I'm thinking is I do have an extra piston and I have a set of rings. So I'll probably go ahead and replace that piston and rings and just go ahead and check all of them. And I may even just replace all the rings. I don't know. This is a backup motor. I've got my new one coming, so we'll see what I end up doing. But for now, it's torn down. Everything's ready. Just need to organize and get ready for the new block so I can get that going because we are getting close to having the car back up and running. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying the content that's coming out. Trying to stay on top of things and get stuff relevant for y'all. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like this video, comment below if there's anything else you want to see, and I'll make sure we can get some more footage out. So thanks a lot, guys.